Hey guys, what's up? So today is really exciting for me. So a company reached out by the name of Hansshow. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. I have actually been looking at products before they even reached out to pick up stuff for the Cybertruck. And they were like, hey, would you like to test out our running boards for your truck? I'm like, yeah, of course. And so they went ahead, they sent them over and they said, all you need to do is just make a video about installing them and what you think. I'm like, totally, I'm down for that. So this is kind of my first product that I actually get to test out and that I haven't paid for. All of the products on my channel are usually 100% paid for by me. This is the first one, but all I need to do is, hey, show you how they install and what they look like. So I'm down. You do get a discount if you use my code in the bottom. It is Ryan Peterson 5053, and I'll go ahead and link that down in the description. But let's go ahead, let's get these things out of the box. I haven't even got them out of the shipping box yet, and let's see what they look like on the truck. So let's get into it. All right, so let's go ahead, let's open this thing up. I have not even got this open yet. I got these shipped to me over the holiday, and they've sat in my house. I will say that the first thing I noticed is that they are really, really heavy. So that to me is very promising because it means that it's least decent quality, I'm hoping. I haven't gotten them out of the box, so I don't know. Let's see, I'm missing this over here. Let me go over here real fast. All right, so let's see what we got in this box. So it looks like we have our running board right here, and everything is boxed up really nicely. It is really heavy, so I will say there was some damage to the box when it got here, but that's just kind of a product of shipping heavy things with UPS, FedEx, doesn't really matter. And so let's go ahead, let's get this out of the box. I mean, this thing, man, I could do some nice arm curls with this right here. This thing is heavy, it's nice. Let's go ahead and we'll slide this out so you can get a first look here. I mean, that is awesome. That feels really, I mean, that's solid metal. I would not want to, get hit over the head with this thing. All right, so I don't know, this doesn't say if it's left or right. I don't think it matters, but I will go ahead and set this on the ground over here. Slide this down there. And we've got our left and right. So this is something that's cool. So they actually tell you that is the left side of the truck and the right side of the truck. So that is awesome. And then we've got our second running board here. So I'll go ahead and get this out of the box just to see what it looks like. Good to make sure everything's status quo, nothing's broken, nothing's scratched. There we go. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's, yep. I mean, so far, it's a really decent product. This is got a little bit of a scrape right there. Nothing that a little bit of paint can't cover, and not really super concerned about that. I mean, they're running boards on a truck. They're gonna get messed up, right? So let me go ahead and get this out of here. And I'll get this trash out of here so we're not just a whole bunch of that. All right, so let's open up, I'll say the right side real quick, and we will see what we have in the box. So it looks like a whole bunch of parts. Okay, so these are your brackets for underneath the truck. I'll set those down there. Looks like we've got warranty and support information. We've got a bunch of spacers and some wrenches, or I should say sockets. Let's see. Okay, so this is another piece. Looks like they are all labeled. So this is R4, R3. So that's telling me that they're gonna at least give me all of the different, yep, there's R2. So R1 would be the next logical step. Cool, so it tells you like very detailed and simple it looks like to install so far. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and lift the truck up. So something that's really cool about the Cybertruck is all you gotta do is go in and jack up your truck with a simple click of a button. We're gonna click on off-road, confirm. We are gonna go ahead and go into extract mode, confirm, and that's gonna give me 16, I believe 0.5 inches, so 16.5 inches of clearance so that I can work under the truck with no problem. No jack required, nothing like that. Just gotta click a button and wait for it to go up. So let's step out of the car And just like that, I mean, that is awesome. I love this feature. I use it all the time just to, you know, raise the truck up, used it in the Hurricane. And so for doing stuff like this, that is gonna be really convenient. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna walk over here, I'm gonna grab my pieces. We're gonna start with the right side. Okay, so when I first put these on, I did it wrong. So you don't do it wrong if you end up with these. This is not the right end. So what you wanna do is, they are labeled 1 through 4, not 1 through 4, if that makes sense. So the front of the vehicle is not 1, the back of the vehicle is 1, and then they move up sequentially. The other thing is, I had it flipped upside down like this, or rather like this, with these angled pieces coming out. That is not how this installs. You want to make sure that you turn this around and it goes in just like this. So it's gonna actually go in, and you'll actually see it. The instruction manual does say which way they go if you read the instructions. I'm terrible about that. But you'll actually see the screws that you need to put this into. So you do have to take out one of the 10mm bolts that they already have in for this plastic piece under here, but there's another bolt mount that is not got a screw in it, and you do have to put a bolt and washer in there. So let's go ahead and let me slide this under here, and I will show you, hopefully in the bottom camera that I have on the ground, kind of where that is. So I've got a screw, a bolt here, and I've got a bolt hole there, and I just line that up, and it lines up perfectly with that. So let me go ahead and put the first one in. So I will slide the screw under. I'm assuming the washer goes there. This is gonna go like that. Now, I would recommend hand tightening these. It's a little awkward. I probably should be laying on my back, but hey, that's the reason we could jack up the Cybertruck, right? We don't have to lay on our backs if we don't want to. So we'll just do that, and we'll kind of let this hang loosely right there, and hopefully not drop it on the GoPro. That would be awesome. And let me grab another bolt here. And I didn't put a locking washer on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll have to take that back off. But what you wanna do is you take the smaller bolt, so you have this long bolt here, and you have the smaller one. The smaller one goes in the hole that is got nothing in it, so the bolt or the thread that has nothing in it over here, and then the longer one goes in the bolt that you actually took out from the truck itself. And then each one needs to have, and they note it in the instruction manual if you follow it, you need to have a locking washer underneath here, and you need to have the right size. Locking washer, and then the actual washer. Now the bigger washers look like they are for the long bolt, and the smaller washers are for the smaller bolt. So just keep that in mind, and I'm gonna destroy the whole thing. There we go, it exploded. So there's that, that's bolt 1, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this back out again. There we go, we take that out, and we take this off. And you've got this smaller little locking washer there. You put that on first, and you put that on, and I'm gonna make sure that I am right, and just double check my instructions again. So yes, the locking washer goes underneath the first washer, just so you know. All right, so we take that, thread this back in there, go ahead and mount that back in its spot. There, that one's threaded on, so it'll hold. We got a locking washer here. Take that, and we mount that right there. There we go. And then it's got this nice little plate. I'll slide this back here a little bit, hopefully you can see it. It's got this nice little plate that's gonna hit the metal of the frame right there when you tighten this up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start tightening at least the front side, just to get this put in there. Not gonna go ahead and fully tighten it. You will need the second one, so the bigger bolt does need the bigger socket. So it does come with all of this. You don't have to have a tool set, so that is really nice. I'll go ahead and tighten that up. Now again, like I said, I'm not gonna go ahead and do a full tighten on these. I'm going to let this sit here until I get everything installed, just to see. So there's your first one, it's on, and I will get the other 3 installed, and yeah, we'll get the running board connected up. So that should be really cool. Okay, so we wrapped up the other side with the brackets. We're gonna go ahead and do the left side now. So L1, or rather L4, we'll go ahead and get under here. Let me grab this real quick here. Make sure I'm in line with the truck, with the other side. It looks like it's right there. So one thing to do, the first thing I always do is take this bracket and shove it underneath here, lift it up just like this. Let me go ahead and make sure that I've got this pointed up so you can see. So make sure that you put this up and you actually see where the bracket goes. So like right here, it doesn't fit, right? So we know that it has to go right here. So it's interesting, it actually is a little bit farther back, I feel like, than it is on the other side. But maybe that's just me. I could be completely wrong. But again, these things come off super easy. Let's go ahead and twist this off here. There we go. See, drops out really nice and simple. And then we grab our regular spacer here. So we've got our spacer, and then we want to grab both our small. So we grab this. Let me bring this in here. So this is the small screw, and I'm going to drop that on the ground. So this is the small screw, and this is your locking washer. It's a little bit bigger than the other one, and then that goes on there, just like that. So make sure you do it in that order. That is the small one for the placement, as I noted on the other side, that doesn't have a bolt in it. And then you grab your long bolt here. And again, just going over this just for, you know, user sake. There you go, you put the small locking washer on and the large washer on. And then you're gonna grab your big spacer here, and that's gonna go on the other side of this bracket. So this is gonna go up just like this, right? And then this is gonna go in there just like that. So that is your spacer for where the bolt came out that was in the truck. So let's go ahead, let's go under here. Let's make sure I have this in the right spot. So in this case, it's on the right-hand side of the truck. So I'm gonna be putting it in right here. And once you get the hang of this, this is really, really easy to do. It does take a second. The first time I did it on the other side, you know, you have your mess up times where you're not really sure what you're doing. But if you pay attention to the instructions, unlike I did, and if you're watching this video, you have a really good idea of what needs to be done, I think. I'm making the mistakes so you don't have to, right? So let me screw this in here, and to give you an idea, we should be able to do this in near real time, just to show you how quickly, once you actually understand what's going on, how quickly you can get this installed. Obviously, I want to make sure I don't cross-thread anything, but that's in there. Okay, again, I'm not going to fully lock these down, so let's go ahead. I'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and get my leaves out of here. Go down and find my next one. So again, I'm going to put my camera under here like this so you can see what I'm doing. So I have this here, and there we go. So we're going to slide down, and if you want to know where it goes, you want to put this bracket up first. So you want to find your hole where it goes on that plate right there, or on this screw point right here for your bolt. So there you go. So now I know where it goes. Then it's really simple. All right, so let's grab one of the running boards here. Oh, man, these things are heavy. I gotta be honest, these things are nice and heavy. So I'm gonna set this down over here on the ground. All right, So I've got the running board over here. Now, I believe what you do, and again, this thing's massively heavy. I say massively, but they're just pretty heavy. So I'm gonna just go ahead and set this up here real quick just to see what it looks like. I think, oh man, okay. That is pretty nice. I like that. Let me see where this goes here. I don't know if there is an exact spacing or if you just kind of put it in. Again, let's go back to the instructions because I know from past experience that I don't read the instructions and that, you know, causes a problem. So this says install running boards 20 to the bracket showed in the picture. Okay, so it looks like the tail of the car, so the front of the car has this a little bit, don't you blow away here, got wind going on. Looks like the front of the car has this almost to the front. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so underneath here, and hopefully you can see it, I'll grab this camera and put it under. I think, and this is, we're gonna test it out, I believe that what you want is right here, you'll see this like opening here, and you want this to be just about there, I think. And then you take one of these, and much like the other side, you take a washer and you take a nut in this case, and the bolt's already welded onto, it looks like it's welded, tack welded onto this actual bracket. And I think you take this, and I don't know if you lift it. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. It looks like that works. So I'm assuming that that's what you do. Let me again verify the instructions here. Yup, that is what you do. So it looks like you've got 4 points here. So you've got this right here, which is a cross beam. You've got a cross beam back here. You got a cross beam, I see it right back here. And then you got a cross beam right here, and a cross beam, whoop, I'm gonna drop that on my head, and a cross beam right here. These cross beams are what you kind of you use as a spacer. So the first cross beam for this belongs, let's see if I'm following the instructions correctly. So the head of the car, it belongs behind that piece, like right there. So this will butt up into there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna center this on the truck. So there are like cross beams under here, and I don't like that, at least the instructions are saying that those cross beams need to be behind the bracket that comes out here. But what that does is it backs it up into the truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down to see what one of them does here. And if it doesn't work out, we'll switch it back. So this goes on the bolt side. So you go washer, you go locking washer, and you go bolt. Now, one thing about this is that because it is the way that it is, you have to very, very gently try to screw this on. So you're not gonna get like, until you get the first one on, it tends to push up, and that makes it a little difficult to, you know, anchor that. So let me go down here, let's go down the line. Now, another thing is what I should have done. Let me try something out real quick. Nope, that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna loosen this up over here as much as I can. Try to give myself some play. As currently, I don't know what it is. All right, so that's what I thought. So what you want to do with these is you want to put these in first before you tighten anything down. Take these, and I'm gonna slide this under here and let you see. So you take this bracket, and you turn it sideways, and it locks in just like that. And I'm gonna make sure this camera's still recording. There we go. So it locks in just like this. So this bracket comes up, turns in, just like that. Now that allows you to then lift the, if you've done it right, it allows you to lift. Say if you've done it right. And I'm gonna drop it. All right, turn it. There we go. Nope. All right, so there you go. Turn, it's a little bit finicky, but it slides in those holes. Now we're gonna come back over here, and we're gonna do the last bracket. Let's go ahead and lift this up here. You'd think after 4 of these brackets I'd have this down, but for some reason, all right, get up under here and see what's going on. Oh, okay, so one thing to note, there is 2 sides underneath here. So there is 2 different or levels, I'll say, like trays underneath. So you got like your first tray, and if you go up on this other side, there is another tray. If you're putting this in, that will cause a problem because you cannot get that in right. So let me go ahead. Let's see here. I think this is good. Dusting that off. I've got some. All right. Now let's take this off here. Now let's bring my camera back over here real quick, and theoretically I should be able to put my washer on there if I remember correctly how to do this, as I keep forgetting. So it is washer and nut. There we go. Again, just trying to make sure I get this right the first time so I don't have to come back, do it again. There we go. So tighten that in. Now I still have access to these bolts up under here, I hope. Yep, I do. Good. So I can come back in and I can retighten these like I need to, because I haven't tightened everything down. I'm just trying to get this installed just to see how it all goes together. We'll go ahead and do this. There we go. There's that one. Now again, once you get the hang of this, this is one of those things that once you've done it once and twice, it just gets easier and easier every time you do it. So again, it is hold the back plate, the regular washer, locking washer, hold those in place, then take your nut and screw it in just like that. So hopefully the camera is picking this up. I cannot see the camera because I've got my GoPro and it doesn't have a front touchscreen, as I noted in one of the other videos. Man, that'd have been nice if they had, put a touchscreen there. But there you go. I don't have that locked in, but that is the passenger side. So let's head over to the driver's side and see if we can get that done. So as I noted on the other side, and I wanted to go ahead and just show you so you had a reference before I put this actually up on the bracket mounts here. So this piece right here, there is a channel that runs right along the underneath side of this. So if you see this right here where I'm running my hand, that's the first level. There's another level that, because this is like a L channel basically that runs along here, and underneath that L channel is another like level. And if you're trying to put this in upside down, what will happen is the bracket will go sideways like this up on the other channel, or above the L channel, not inside the L channel how it's supposed to go, and you won't be able to seat this properly. So what you want to make sure is that you sink it in here and it locks into that bottom L channel, and that will be flush and you'll be good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get these last 4 pieces installed here, or last 4 brackets. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over. Now, as I noted here, I do have a little bit of scraping going on where the paint chipped on this, and I'm gonna actually bring out this GoPro here and show you. So this right here, this chipped. So something I will say is I don't know how well the paint will hold up, although I think this was the one that was chipped anyway. So that may have just been a thing. I did note that this is down to the metal, so I'm gonna definitely go and get a can of textured spray paint like Rust-Oleum or something, and I'm gonna go ahead and cover that and spray that, just because, you know, I don't want this to rust and I gotta take it off, and you know, that's gonna defeat the purpose. But so I'm gonna go ahead and go under here, and let's grab my washers and my nuts again. And there we go, washer, locking washer, grab this, turn this under here, make sure it's on the right one. Now, and almost broke the GoPro there. As I noted on the other side, before we do anything, to make this super easy, what you wanna do is you want to grab all 4 of these right here, and you wanna run down the line, and you want to lift this up and just set them right in. They set right in where they go, and it makes it a whole lot easier if you do that. So if you're gonna do this, you wanna make sure that you do this first, unless you're like me and I just got it in the slot and missed the other side. So go ahead there, there we go. There, and you can feel it when it sets in really nicely. There's my other bracket. All right, so that's set in there. Now we've done all 4 of the cross brackets. You just grab your washers, just like the other side, and we put these on. So let me grab this here. Now again, I will go through after this, and I will probably center these all the way up because I've not been centering them. I've not been really anchoring this down super, super tight. I will also note that this front piece is a little hard because, yeah, it's a little hard to get up and connect to, at least on this side, mainly because it feels like the bracket is actually in the way of this first one. I need to push this down some. This side is definitely more bowed than the last side. So these are not completely straight. You will have to fiddle with this just a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this back here, hold this bracket down. As with anything that you're installing, there's always some problem somewhere. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this to seat in there a little bit better. There we go. Do that. Do that. Now you're doing a lot of this by touch, which is kind of interesting sometimes because I'm trying to basically thread this. Got it. Now that should hold that down, and once that's down, now I can come back in and I can put the other washer on the back side. So one thing I did there was I pushed down on the side until I got it very lightly threaded, and then I went ahead and started threading the nut. Once the front nut was on, I could get the back one done really easily. So let me try this one right here. And again, once you've done the preliminary setup where you've put the bracket in, you're holding this down, and you've already run this, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to feed that up under there and get it in the right spot. You go down the line and connect these things up and you're good to go. So let me get this here. And as you'll note here, I am moving pretty quickly. It looks like I may have missed a washer somewhere and a nut, as I'm missing 2 washers. I'm gonna have to go on the other side and see where they are. So let me grab this here, grab that there. And I'm trying to get you a good view underneath. Hopefully it's coming through in the camera that you can see where Yeah, so all you gotta do, if one of them won't go down, you just gotta push just a little bit and it will set right in there. I say that, and of course it didn't do it, but it had done it not that very long ago. Let me do the back. There you go. I can feel more of the back here. There we go. We'll sink that in. That'll lock that end down. Try not to cross thread the bolt. Again, I'm doing this blind. I can't see what I'm doing. I'm literally doing it upside down. And where did there's my other nut. I didn't bring it over. So now, if I push this down like this, you'll also notice that that has actually pulled that down a little bit more and seated that where it's supposed to be. Down in there. There we go. That locks in. I mean, just that little bit of pressure solves all the problems. So let me go over and grab the other washers. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on right here. I have apparently lost or misplaced the other washers. I'm missing 2 of them, or they didn't send me enough. I don't know which one, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this on with a locking washer right now and the nut, and then that way at least it's on, just to kind of give you an idea of this on there. And so the only thing about this is I will say it feels like it does definitely need that washer, so I will have to find that. But I've gone through and I've checked everything, and I have checked to see if I installed the washers like on a different one where it didn't belong, and it's not the case so far. So I don't know. Again, it looks like I've either misplaced it, it fell off in the grass somewhere, but besides that, this is pretty solidly on there. I do need to anchor this down. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this real quick, and then all of this should be good to go, and we should have running boards on the Cybertruck, which is awesome. All right, so what we're doing now is just going through and retightening everything, making sure that both the plate bolts and the bolts and nuts that hold on the actual board itself are all snug. I'm not over tightening, I'm just tightening until the ratchet stops. I am actually using a full ratchet here because it's a little bit easier once you've already done this, and it lets you tighten a little faster than that handheld tool, although I am super happy that they gave you that. But you will need a 10 millimeter and a 13 millimeter socket and ratchet if you're doing this. So I'll go ahead and tighten these on right here, give you kind of an idea of how fast I can do this. Okay, there's that. Okay. Just making sure that these are nice and snug, because I don't want them to come loose while I'm driving down the highway, anything like that. Although you do have the locking washer in there, so it should be nice and good there. But this side is now completely done. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue tightening these down here. So we'll use my 10 millimeter to tighten this. You can already kind of feel this one may actually be pretty tight. There we go. It's good. I don't want to break that plastic underneath there, but it does feel nice and tight. This is definitely the way that if you're going to tighten these down, I suggest doing it. Just because I can get a much better feel for how snug they are by doing it this way. There we go. See, that one's done. Let's go ahead. Let's move down the line. I love the fact that you can jack this truck up and work underneath it
and I've got the clearance to be able to do what I'm doing. Now it does look like this will basically be about the same height from under here, looking at my mud flaps or mud guards over there. It's gonna be about the same height as those. So if you're going off-roading and you're worried about snapping those off or something, that's just something to keep in mind. And that one's snug there. There we go. We'll move down to the last bracket right here, and where I messed this up in putting the wrong washers on the wrong nuts. I'll go ahead and loosen that there. Grab this. Again, said it once, say it again, because I make mistakes, as clearly I've had to go back and find a missing washer. It is washer, locking washer, nut. And then same thing on the back. There we go. So washer, locking washer, and the nut. There we go. Take the 13mm socket, tighten that down. And that one's gonna be nice and loose now. There we go. Okay. Now I may still have to come back here and line these up because I feel like I may be off a little bit on my alignment, but that's just a simple loosen these 13mm bolts and then go ahead and, you know, slide it where I want it on either side. Let me go ahead and tighten that one. There we go. All right, and that is all of the sockets, or all of the bolts and the nuts tightened. Let's go ahead and let's step on it and see how it works. So this is at max height, 16.5 inches off the ground. So if you've got your truck in extract mode, you know, you're over here, you got to step up into it, obviously, but let's see how this works. I mean, a little bit of creaking, but that's pretty good. And you're really not probably going to be jumping up and down on this. This is more for just stepping in. That is really, really nice. And it gives you the ability to step over this threshold, which my son has a terrible time with, short people problems. He always steps right here on the trim piece, and the weather stripping is trying to get in, but this is gonna give him the ability. It's one of the reasons I really wanted these, is to give him the ability to step into the truck without any problem. And I mean, this is someone who, I'm 6'3", this lets me get in the truck when it's in extract mode, but if you're in just entry mode, which is super low, and I'll go ahead and lower it here real quick, just to give you an idea. I love watching this thing lower down. So you'll notice that is coming down. If I hadn't had that clearance to work on it, it would have been a nightmare. But now that that is in a low, like entry mode level, I mean, someone who, like my wife or my son, can get in, and I mean, it's just a step. It's just literally a step and you're in. It is super, super nice. So that has been an install and kind of a first impression review of the Hansshow running boards for the Cybertruck. I so far really like them. I have the one issue where they did arrive with a scraped little piece over here. I'm gonna have to probably get some Rust-Oleum paint and paint it, not that big a deal. I'll get some black paint and do a couple coats and it'll be fine. But besides that, they seem like they're really durable. They go on pretty easy once you know what you're doing. Make sure that you use the correct washer with the correct bolt. And I would say make sure that you line them up on either side. I'm gonna go ahead and do that on both sides after the video. I just wanted to get these installed. And we'll go ahead and do a couple shots around the truck, just let you see what it looks like. Because honestly, I think it adds to the truck and it doesn't go any farther out than the tires, which is also really, really nice. So yeah, that has been my review of these running boards thus far. I'll keep you updated if anything changes. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.